We are going to see about one compartment open model, extravascular administration of the drug. So in the previous videos we saw about one compartment IV bolus and one compartment IV infusion. Those are vascular. Today we are going to see about extravascular. So before going to this, you should know some prerequisite in this extravascular. That is, so assume this is a compartment, assume this is a compartment. Okay, now you are giving the drug here, considering it is a one compartment, and drug is exiting that compartment. So whatever the exit will be there, it will be first order. The drug will follow first order exit. But in process of giving the drug for the one compartment, administering the drug for the one compartment, we have again it is divided into two. One is we can give the drug in zero order fashion, or we can give the drug in first order fashion. So while applying the drug extravascularly, you can apply the drug or you can give the drug into the body through zero order fashion or through first order fashion. So here absorption is the prerequisite. If you are giving the drug through one compartment model, extravascular, your absorption process is prerequisite. Okay, that's what the prerequisite you need to know about. Okay, so we can give by zero order or first order. Okay, just I will tell you what we are going to study in this. Okay, I'll just list it out. So what we are studying is one compartment extravascular will be divided into two, zero order or first order. Zero order or first order. Now if you are considering zero order, whatever we saw for one compartment open model IV infusion, whatever equations pertaining to this is applicable to this, because whatever you are giving one compartment, if you are giving the drug through zero order, okay, and the drug is leaving the body through first order, which is similar to the IV infusion. Hence whatever the equations for the IV infusion is there, that is applicable for this. Next, first, that is your determination of Ke, clearance, half-life, volume of distribution. So one compartment extravascular, what you need to determine there, how to find Ke, rate of elimination, and how to find clearance, volume of distribution or pharmacokinetic parameters, and your half-life. That everything it is already been taught in one compartment IV infusion. So you can go and check that. Here I will just give you an idea of what is how the graph looks for the first compartment, and I will explain the graph. Then we will directly jump to the first order. So in the first order, again we are going to determine what is your Ke. How can I determine the value of Ke through the graph, and Cmax and Tmax. Clearance, volume of distribution, half-life will be there here. Okay, along with the clearance, volume of distribution and half-life, along with all these four, you need to determine Cmax and Tmax for first order. This is the extra added pharmacokinetic parameter. That's how this topic goes. Okay, so we directly jump to the what is going to happen in the first order. See the graph, then we'll go directly jump to the first order. See, zero order in extravascular, zero order is equal to IV infusion. Just you go and check that video. Okay, to start with, okay, here to start with, what we have to do, the rate of change of drug, amount of drug in the body is equal to, we saw incoming and outgoing, in and out. So what is in here in the form of extravascular? So rate of change of drug which is coming through extravascular, EV means extravascular, minus rate of change of drug which is leaving the body through first order, outgoing. So outgoing will be your first order, KE. Okay. Elimination. The rate of change of drug means absorbing drug through first order and absorbing drug through relieving drug through first order, if you are considering it as a first order. Okay, because we are going to deal about first order absorption, that how we are. So this is the basic formula, that how we start. If you go and check those previous videos regarding the IV bolus and IV infusion, we try to put first this basic formula. This formula we try to quote. From this formula we try to derive the whatever pharmacokinetic parameters are there. Those parameters we try to derive with this formula. Okay. So what are those? Yeah, we need to draw this diagram. So if you consider this plasma drug concentration and time, when you give the drug through extravascular, the drug slowly increase the concentration of drug. So when you give the drug through extravascular, the concentration of drug slowly increases, reaches to the maximum, and it will get eliminated. Okay, this is how your extravascular graph looks if you are considering only the plasma drug concentration on y-axis. Okay, here is y-axis, x-axis here. Now the peak we call it as concentration at the peak can be called as Cmax, maximum concentration, and the time required to reach that maximum concentration we call it as Tmax, time required to reach maximum concentration. We have, this is absorption phase, and this one is elimination phase. So what happens in the absorption phase? Okay, rate of absorption will be greater than rate of elimination. This is what happens in the absorption phase. At maximum, the rate of absorption, because it is extravascular, I am mentioning it as EB, extravascular, is equal to the rate of elimination. At the elimination phase, rate of absorption is less than, because here elimination phase, elimination will be more, rate will be more compared to the your absorption phase. That what, this is how the graph looks. Yeah, now see this graph here, what it says. So we have absorption phase, we have post absorption phase, then we have elimination phase. Okay, yeah. So at the absorption phase, the rate of absorption will be more than rate of elimination. At peak plasma concentration, that what is given here, the rate of absorption is equal to rate of elimination, that is at peak plasma concentration, Cmax. Then post absorption phase, slowly your elimination phase will be more compared to your absorption at post absorption phase. Okay, after completion of drug absorption, the rate becomes 0. Finally, when we go to the elimination phase, as the time passes, the rate of absorption of the drug will be 0, because there will be no further drug remaining in the formulation to get absorbed. Okay, regarding the zero order model, I told you, you just refer back whatever the equations are there in the intravenous, those equations are applicable here. Okay, so it is directly given here, intravenous infusion, whatever the equations we are there, we derive Ke, we derive clearance, half-life, and volume of distribution. All those derivations and equations are applicable here in case of absorption through extravascular if it is following zero order kinetics. Next we are going for absorption which is following first order kinetics. So that equation is being represented like this. Okay, first order kinetics absorption. So the rate of absorption. Okay, I'll try to quote here. So the basic equation in any compartment model is this one: rate of change of drug is equal to rate of absorption of drug. Okay, because it is a first order, we try to take it as, see here, because it is a first order, we directly take it as change of drug through first order absorption and change of drug through first order elimination. Okay, so first order elimination, we will write like this. So rate of change of drug is directly proportional to absorption of the drug. Ka means rate of absorption. Okay, constant absorption rate constant minus elimination rate constant. If it is following first order, you need to write like this. Okay, this one. If you try to integrate these whole equations, okay, by taking time at one side and concentration or amount at one side, and if you try to integrate, so after integration, what we are going to see here, so after integration, I try to write directly this equation. Okay, after integration, this is what the equation you get. Okay, how the integration, what you need to learn those integration parts. Okay, are better to remember this. After integration, what happens here? Okay, remember how these equations are changing after integrations. So what is that equation? I'll try to write here. So after integration, the above equation will be changed to Ka, fraction of F is the fraction of drug absorbed, X naught is the initial drug concentration, amount of, or you can say dose of the drug, and Ka minus divided by Ka minus Ke to e to the power of minus Ket minus e to the power of Kat. This will get interchanged. First will be K and K. See here we have first K and Ke. After integrating, it will just interchange because this will get negative value. Again we get negative value here. This will become positive and it will get interchanged. So remember this equation. After integrating the above equation, you will get this equation. Okay. So this is the equation. Now we try to change the equations in the form of above equation is being changed. Okay. In the form of, here we try to get only, because it is integrated, your differentiated will be converted into normal, because see above we have, here we have, if we integrate this part, this differentiated part will be converted into normal, and the time is there with the Ket and that, so time goes there. So this amount of drug is being converted into concentration. How to convert this? Previously we know amount is equal to concentration into volume of distribution, or concentration is equal to amount divided by volume of distribution. That what it gets. Just substitute this equation here. What you will get? Concentration into volume of distribution is equal to Ka, fraction of drug, absorption rate constant, fraction of drug, and dose of the drug divided by Ka minus Ke e to the power of minus Ket minus e to the power minus Kat. Okay. So this volume of distribution you send here. So what we will get? Again this equation is being converted into concentration is equal to Ka, fraction of drug, dose of the drug into volume of distribution Ka minus Ke. Capital E is overall rate constant. Okay, e to the power of minus ke t minus exponential kat. See, this is by exponential. We have two exponents here, one exponent for absorption, one exponent for elimination, because both absorption and elimination are following first order, hence we are getting two exponents. Remember, if your drug is following zero order, you will get only one exponential formula. The drug is following first order, it will get two exponents, because if the drug is following zero order, you won't get exponent there. If the elimination or absorption or anything is following first order, then only you are getting a exponent there, because here absorption as well as elimination is both are following first order. We got two exponents, so we call it as by exponential equation, because we have two equations. So this is the equation which they have written here. Okay, so he says F is the fraction of drug absorbed systemically, fraction of drug absorbed. Okay, now we see here where whatever the possible, this is the equation. So if you see what we try to do, we try to give the equation to Ke. Okay, then Ka or Ke here, that is the above equation. Okay, this equation for this is the equation for Ka and Ke. Now after giving this equation, now we need to determine the pharmacokinetic parameters. What are the pharmacokinetic parameters? Along with the everything, we have volume of distribution, clearance, half-life. Okay, we'll see what is the main pharmacokinetic parameters. Those are Cmax and Tmax. Because if the drug is following first order kinetics, absorption as well as elimination, then we need to determine the Cmax and Tmax. Remember this. Okay, Cmax and Tmax. Now how to determine this Cmax and Tmax? By taking the above equation. Okay, by taking that above equation, how can we determine this Cmax and Tmax? That what now the this topic will go on. So what it says here, at peak plasma concentration, the rate of absorption is equal to the rate of elimination, and the rate of change in the drug is constant, is zero. This rate can be obtained by differential equation. Okay, we'll take that above differential equation. We'll take this above equation. Okay, this above equation has been taken, and when we differentiate this equation, we try to get this below equation. Okay, so what is happening here? Your C is there in the above equation. This C, when you differentiate, it will convert into dC. Okay, and time will be converted as dt. So after differentiating this above equation, you get this equation. Okay, after differentiating, only what is added here, see, extra Ke has came. I will try to write this differentiated equation. Okay, now if you differentiate this above equation, dC by dt is equal to absorption, fraction of drug absorbed, dose divided by volume of distribution into Ka minus Ke. So here what we get is that this Ke, you will get here Ke e to the power of minus Ket minus, I will try to write here Ka into e to the power minus Kat. So this is the equation. Check here. Yeah. Now because at Cmax, because we are determining Cmax and Tmax, okay, our parameters to be determined are Cmax and Tmax. So at the Cmax, what happens when I am drawing that graph? I told you, when we reach to the Cmax, the rate of absorption will be equal to rate of elimination, and the rate of change of drug will be 0, because absorption is equal to elimination. The rate of change of drug will be 0, so we'll consider this thing as 0. So we'll try to write 0 here and above equation. That's how this equation is represented in case of Cmax. If you simplify that equation, okay, after doing everything, if you try to simplify this above equation, So you will get this part because this one is 0. Okay, I will consider this whole part as, let's say, consider at a. Okay, consider this as a, to make it simple how this equation is been converted. Consider this part as a. So now what happens, if you send this here, this side, already the left hand side is 0, so the whole thing, this whole thing will become 0. So what we will get, 0 is equal to, the remaining part is ke e to the power of minus ket minus ka e to the power of minus kat. This is what remaining, because this thing will become 0. Now send this here. If you send this here, we will be remaining with ka e to the power of minus kat is equal to ke e to the power of minus ket. That's what we are remaining now. Now when you apply the logarithm to this equation, okay, if you apply the logarithm to this equation, so this how the equation will try to change. So I'll just tell you how to do this. Okay, when you apply the logarithm, apply log to the above equation. When you apply the logarithm, remember this part, I'll try to write here, this part e to the power of minus kat will be converted as kat by 2.303 and the negative sign will be remaining here. Okay, only this part will be converted like this, and here this one will get log. Okay, this is the conversion factor, exponential to log. Okay, so apply log on the both side. What we will get? We will get log ka minus what is remaining, this equation, ka by kat by 2.303 is equal to same thing, this one. Apply log there, log ke minus ket by 2.303. So this is a conversion factor. If I apply log for this, it will be converted into like this. Okay, just remember this one to make you easy for the derivation. Okay, what is the next part? So after converting into logarithm, we'll get this equation. If you try to rearrange the above equation, okay, rearrange and solve for t. Okay, we'll try to do that. How can we do this? Okay, rearrange and solve for t. I will take all the t terms at the one side and the ke and ke at the other side. So what I will get here, let's say logarithms I will take at one side, log ka. So assume that this will be going here and this will be going here. Okay, what I will get, log ka minus log ke is equal to, this part will be going there, so it will become positive kat by 2.303 minus ket by 2.303. What is the common in this? So what is log ka by ke? Log a minus log b is log a by b. So I will directly write that log ka by ke is equal to, in this what is the common part? T is the common, so ka minus ke then t by 2.303. So if we take the common part out, so now send this side, solve the equation for time. This time will be called as T max because we got this equation by assuming that at maximum concentration the rate of change of drug concentration will be, okay, the rate of change of drug concentration will be 0 at the Cmax. So that if we consider that as Cmax, then the time required to attain that Cmax will be Tmax. So solve this equation for Tmax. What you will get if you solve the above equation for Tmax? Send this side, send this below. What you will get? So directly write log Ka by Ke, okay, into 2.303 will go up. This will come down, divided by Ka minus Ke is equal to T max. So this is the equation we got for the T max to determine the T max. See here, consider here what the above equation says is, see here, the above equation says like if the log Ka by, if absorption is more, Ka is more, as the Ka increases, what happens, because we are trying to see about absorption phase, okay, as the Ka increases, because to reach that T max we need to consider the absorption phase. As the Ka is more, absorption rate of absorption is more here, okay, this whole value will decrease, okay, and Ka minus Ke, because numerator will decrease and denominator will increase, ultimately leading to decrease of T max. Obviously rate of absorption, if it is drug is absorbing more fast, time to reach the maximum absorption will be less. That what is this equation is saying. So by taking this part, we derived one common equation, okay, main equation. We'll from that main equation, by applying this knowledge, saying that okay, absorption max rate is more, if you try to apply that knowledge here in this equation, you will be getting one equation, that is, because we are trying to see about T max to reach the time. So what are the concentration in the main equation, this above equation, same equation I am writing here, whatever the concentration, it will be converted as C max, okay, we will be remaining with divided by Vd into e to the power minus Ket, okay. If we consider this thing and substitute in the above equation and try to modify that equation, we will be getting this equation. So I brought this equation from this equation considering this logic, okay. You try to substitute that only Ka in the above equation, okay, and because your Ka is on the exponent, whichever is the maximum in the exponent, this will become 0, okay. Here Ka is more, Ka will become more here, this part will become 0, so Ka is not there, and here Ke is less, so only we'll take K, and this K and K will get cancelled and we'll be remaining with fraction, amount, dose and volume of distribution, and remaining with the K, okay. That what we get here. Next, if I apply log, so log C max is equal to log fraction dose by volume of distribution into minus Ket by 2.303. This is the conversion factor. Yeah, he has not written, see this equation, he has taken only the exponent value, okay. I will try to show you how to get this equation, okay, how to get the value for this equation. Okay, now what happens, instead of taking the log, we again derive the same equation. I will write the same equation, C max is equal to fraction x naught by Vd into e to the power minus Ket. Whatever the T is there, that is T max, okay. We have C max here, so we have T max here. Now it is assumed that at C max, it is found that at whatever the drug is there at the maximum concentration, this T max, whatever it is there, okay, so this T max, it was found that T max is equal to 1 by K, where at maximum concentration to reach. So substitute this equation in the place of T max. What will you get? C max is equal to fraction x naught by Vd into, okay, e to the power of minus Ke. In terms of T max, I want to substitute 1 by Ke. Whatever you get, it will get cancelled. So the value of 1 by Ke, what is the remaining here? C max is equal to fraction dose divided by volume of distribution into e to the power of minus 1. This value will be 0.37, okay. that value is 0.37. So what we will get here? So Cmax is equal to 0.37 into fraction dose divided by volume of distribution. So this is the equation to determine Cmax. Yeah, this is the equation to determine the Cmax. Okay. So we determined Tmax, we have determined Cmax. Now we will see the equation for elimination rate constant, K, only for elimination rate constant. So this parameter can be computed from this. Here I am studying this equation, this paragraph. This parameter can be computed from the elimination phase of the plasma level time profile. Okay, for most drug administered through extra, absorption is significantly greater than elimination. Hence, one can say that absorption approaches to zero much faster than the elimination. At stage when the absorption is completed, the change in plasma concentration is only elimination. Okay. So we have the first equation where the absorption exponent, we got the by exponent equation there. Okay. What is that by exponent equation? I will try to show you here. Yeah, you can see clearly here whatever I written here. This has two exponents. One is for absorption exponent, this one is elimination exponent, and this is absorption exponent. Okay, we have two exponents in the equation, so we call this equation as by exponential equation. From this equation, we are concentrating only on Ke. I want to determine the value of Ke, elimination rate constant. Hence, what I tell is, as the time progress, first absorption will be greater than elimination. And further what happens, absorption will be much less and elimination will be more. As the time passes, obviously absorption, whatever the absorption is there, it will be almost reaching to zero. We get only elimination phase. So we are considering only that elimination phase. So I will be taking only elimination exponent equation here. I am not considering absorption exponent equation. So C is equal to our first equation, X naught Ka divided by volume of distribution into Ka minus Ke. Okay. E to the power minus KET. I told you here I am going to e to the power KET. This is our first equation. Because this will become 0, I will not consider this. So I am going to eliminate this one. I am going to consider this one because we are concentrated about deriving the equation for elimination rate constant. So at elimination phase, absorption will be 0. That's how the equation looks. Okay. Yeah, same thing. Now what happens? Apply log to the above equation. If you apply log to the above equation, what will you get? Log C is equal to log of F into Ka divided by volume of distribution into Ka minus Ke into minus Ke T by 2.303. Now we can determine Ke through this equation. This is the equation for the determination of Ke. How can you determine the Ke from this equation? By drawing the graph. So to draw the graph, take this as a y-axis, take time as a x-axis, the remaining this will be your slope, and whatever this is there, this is the y-intercept. Okay. C. So y is equal to mx plus c. So if you try to draw the graph for this, so you will get, okay, I will take whole part as A. Okay, so hybrid constant A. No, okay. So y-axis will be log x naught fraction rate of absorption into volume of distribution into Ka minus Ke. This all will be x-axis. Time will be this, because we have negative, so we get negative. slope will be, I had told you, minus Ke divided by 2.303. Sorry. What is our y-axis? Our y-axis is log C. So whatever the intercepts is there, that is this one. So from this equation you can determine the value of K. This is how we determine the value of K for the equation, by drawing the graph. This is the graph for that. Okay. Now we will see for the determination of Ka. Ka, we have two methods. One is residual method and one is get the residual method, and also Wagner-Nelson method. Another method is Wagner-Nelson method. One is residual method, one is Wagner-Nelson method. So now again we try to determine K through these two methods. So we'll see for the residual method. First is residual method. Method of residual. Okay, method of residual. So we'll get the method of residual here. Absorption rate constant. How can we determine this? This is very critical part. Try to give more concentration on this. Okay. It can be calculated by method of residual. The technique is used for known as feathering, peeling and stripping. That's what the name given for the technique. Okay, it is known like this. It is commonly used in pharmacovariety to resolve the multi-exponential curve into its individual components. If the curve is multi-exponential, why? We saw that in the normal curve, okay, we have two exponents. I'll try to explain this by writing the equation. Okay. Into see, we have two exponents here. Okay, one exponent for elimination, another exponent for absorption. Okay, so we use residual method to convert multi-exponential into one exponent. Okay, the graph shows multi-exponent. We have two exponent part in the graph. We need to convert that into one exponent. We need to convert that into one exponent. We'll see how to do that to determine the Ke, value of K, absorption rate constant. Okay. This is the equation. We have multi-exponent. Now in the above equation, consider whatever the remaining. Consider this part as A. Consider it. So your equation will be get down to A is minus KET. That A will be multiplied for the both, so minus A is of an exponent of absorption rate constant. Okay, so that's what the equation we got here. So during elimination phase, when absorption is during elimination, when the absorption is almost over, okay, and the value of exponent K is 0. So we remaining with only one. I said you residual method is considered to convert the multi-exponent to single exponent. Now absorption exponent, I need to not consider the absorption exponent. Okay, I am not going to consider the absorption exponent. I am going to consider only the elimination exponent. We are going to convert this into elimination exponent. Then from that elimination exponent, we try to derive the absorption exponent also. Absorption rate constant also. Okay, we'll try to see what happens here. What it says is during elimination phase, absorption will be 0, so absorption exponent will be not considered. So I will be remaining with only one equation, that is, because I am not considering this absorption during elimination phase, because during elimination phase we are not considering the absorption phase, I will be remaining with C is equal to a e to the power minus k e t. Okay, because we are considering only elimination phase here. Okay, here your c is written as here. The c is written as like this. The arrow mark is given, which tells that we have extrapolated the elimination exponent graph. I'll try to show you what is this. First, let me draw the graph for this equation. So to draw the graph for this equation, why that negative marking? Graph for this equation, take log here is equal to log a minus ke t by 2.303. So y is equal to mx plus c. This is the y axis, c will be this one, x axis will be this one, and the slope will be this one. Now I'll draw the graph for this. Log c, log t. So the first graph is for multi-exponent. I will just write it. If you take this graph, I got this type of graph here. If I apply log to this graph, what happens? That's what we are going to see here. Okay, if I apply log for that graph, what happens? So because we converted the multi-exponent to single exponent, this what happens? Whatever your, I'll write here. Okay, whatever this one is there, this graph will be reduced like this, and you will get only straight line for elimination rate constant. And I will try to extrapolate this graph to touch it. Okay, this will be your log a. Then because we extrapolated this graph, this concentration will be represented like this, which indicates that we are going to extrapolate the graph. We are extrapolating the graph, hence the concentration will be indicated by reverse arrow. Okay, so you can also calculate your Ke value from this. Okay, by exponential curve with the terminal linear phase. Okay, now this how the equation looks. So here we have residual curve and time lag. We try to determine the both also. I will tell you how to determine that. Now what you have to do is subtract the true plasma concentration, okay, from extrapolated plasma concentration. If you try to subtract the true plasma concentration to the extrapolated, what we will get? We will try to see here. What is true plasma concentration? What is extrapolated concentration? True plasma concentration is this one. Okay, Ka fraction dose divided by Vd Ka minus Ke into Ket is minus Kat. Okay, this is the true plasma concentration. What is the extrapolated plasma concentration? Is A, that what we got. I just writing that equal A is minus Ket. This is the extrapolated plasma concentration. Now this A is this one. Here consider this as A also. Okay, so I'll write that equation. C is equal to A e to the power of minus Ket minus e to the power minus Kat. Okay, so this is one equation, this is 2. So you need to subtract this 2. What happens? Extrapolated concentration minus true concentration is equal to, what is the extrapolated? A e to the power minus Kat. It is a true concentration, you have to multiply minus A e to the power of minus Kat. Okay, because we are subtracting, you will get negative sign here. Okay, plus A e to the power of minus Kat. KAT. Okay, this 2 will get cancelled. The remaining is A e to the power minus KAT. Yeah. Now we got the absorption rate constant here. Again, apply log for this. You get log A minus KAT by 2.303. So how can you determine the K rate of absorption? How can we determine this rate of absorption? Plot the graph. Y axis will be log C dash minus C time. This will be your slope and this will be your negative, yeah, minus K by 2.303, and the intercept will be log K. So from the slope of this above equation you can determine the Ka value. So if you do like this, you will get one equation in the graph. What is that? If you do that, you get equation there. What is that equation? Yeah, see here. Okay, get the equation here. Whatever the equation you get, I will try to write here. Okay. What we said, plane concentration time. If you apply log here, so our graph will be reduced like this. This straight line is extrapolated to get this. Okay, extrapolated line. Now this line can be represented here like this. Okay, wherever this line we call it as residual graph. Okay, from where we got this line? From this equation. Okay, from this equation we got this line. Okay, we call this as a residual graph. Okay, call this a residual. Now wherever these two will meet, our residual graph and our elimination. Okay, this is the elimination. Wherever these two meets, just draw a line there to the time. Whatever the time is there, we call it as lag time. What do you mean by lag time? Lag time is the time required for the drug to start absorb. Okay, it is not, don't confuse with the onset of action. Okay, time taken to just start the absorption. I will try to show you here. See here. So this is what the graph looks like. My graph is not so much good. Just see here. So this is how this graph looks like. Whatever the Ka is there, that is your residual curve. Okay. Whatever the elimination curve is there, we extrapolated that elimination curve. Wherever these two, residual curve and the elimination extrapolated curve, will meet, from that point, if you draw a line, you will get a lag time. What do you mean by lag time there? See, it is defined as difference between. Yeah, it is defined as a difference between drug absorption, different drug administration and start of absorption. If you administered the drug here, okay, once you administer it doesn't mean that drug will start absorption, extravascular. Okay, if I take a drug, it will take time for the drug to get absorbed. So the time taken from the administration to the absorption, start of the absorption, we call that as a lag time. Okay, now in this above graph, okay, in this above graph we have one mechanism called flip-flop. What is that mechanism? We'll try to see here. See here in the above graph. You can calculate half-life also, absorption half-life also from the graph. The technique works best when difference between Ka and Ke is large. If your rate of absorption is much greater than 3 times greater than Ke, then only the above graph is useful. Okay, if your rate of absorption is much less than Ke, what happens? The whatever residual is there, it will give you Ke value, because our residual is giving Ka. See here, the residual graph is giving Ka value here. This is applicable only when K is much more greater than Ke. If it is opposite, if Ka is less and time taken for Ka is less and time taken for Ke is more, then what happens? Whatever the residual graph is there, it will start giving the information about Ke, okay, and whatever the elimination graph is there, it will start giving the information about K. So there is a flip-flop. That what it happens here, that what it is given here, okay, flip-flop phenomena. If you're confusing at this stage, just go play back my video, go back and just try to listen once again. You will get what I am trying to say. So, and the lag time is defined as the difference between drug administration and the time of start of absorption. So lag time also you can calculate from the above curve. Okay, so above method we call it a curve fitting method. So this method is hold good for rapidly and completely absorbed drug and following one compartment model. So this above residual method is good for drugs which are absorbing rapidly, which are absorbing completely, and which are following one compartment kinetics. Okay. However, if the drug absorption is affected by GI mobility, or you can say enzymatic degradation, and if the drug shows multi-compartment instead of showing one compartment, if the drug is showing multi-compartment. See, above residual method is only used for those drugs which are rapidly absorbing, completely absorbing, and following one compartment model. If the drug absorption is been disturbed, okay, by your GI mobility or GI enzymatic degradation, and if your drug after absorption drug is showing multi-compartment model, in that case the above method, curve fitting method or residual method, is not used if the drug is showing all these values. Remember, the residual method is only used for those drugs which are showing rapid and complete absorption and one compartment model.